use of AI is a very big thing now. आज से यही होगा, आज के बाद भी ये होगा, लाइफ टाइम यही होगा. इन जनरल बोल देते हैं कई बार बच्चे आके कि सर मेरे को केमिस्ट्री समझ में नहीं आता. In general, what I can do is I can ask those questions. But me as an individual, when I'm working with so many students, maybe it is not possible to gauge each and every one's level.
You know the ranks, you've seen the movies, you think you know Kota. Think again. Welcome to EdTake, the Kota Chapter, where we are ditching the headlines to bring you the ground reality, straight from the classrooms. Pressure क्या है? Teachers क्या सोच रहे हैं? और AI इस legacy system को कैसे shake up कर रहा है? इन सब सवालों के साथ. It's time to listen to the real voices of the student capital of India, Kota.
As a kid, it is very important that maths is developed so that there's no fear in future. And when I'm teaching the students of class 11 and 12 who have already chosen maths by their own free will in a way, and they are preparing for the engineering examination, engineering entrance examination. So there also, when you encounter the questions and when you encounter everything, the basics are very, very important. The simple concepts which have been covered earlier, maybe in 9th and 10th, people tend to forget those concepts. That's something which is difficult for the students, right? People tend to forget those things. So what I make it a point in my class itself to actually encourage the students to actually explain those basic concepts and ask the students to focus on the basics first. That's a very important thing, right? So as a teacher, it is my prerogative so that the students do not falter at those points. That's very important. And if they do not falter at those points, the examination becomes easier. For example, if you pick up any particular question of JEE Main or JEE Advanced for that matter, what they do is they involve a lot of simple things also in the question. The question is based on a difficult topic, but then lots of simple things are also involved in the question, because of which, even if you don't remember one small thing, you will not be able to solve the complete question. Right? That's the general trend that they have. And why does maths become difficult? Because you can intermix so many things. You can mix any chapter with any other chapter for that matter, right? You can do any of those things. Any question can have any multiple chapters as well, application of multiple chapters as well, right? It makes the question lengthy as well, obviously, but then that's the kind of thing that we are living with in terms of JEE, because JEE main people love to make the maths paper very lengthy. But that's the general trend that we are seeing recently in the past 5-6 years. They have been doing that.
So as you have mentioned that maths is all about logics, and you have also mentioned about artificial intelligence. So how do you think that artificial intelligence can help in the subject of maths in terms of like IIT, JEE?
I talked about two things. Let's not intermix the two things. One is that with the advent of AI, with the advent of coding and languages and everything, right? So the logical aspect of a child is very important. First of all, if the child is logical, any new language can be easily understood, easily grasped. The use of AI is a very big thing now. So you can use it properly if you are good at logics. That's what I understand, right? The other thing that you're talking about probably is that how do you use AI to actually help in teaching for that matter, right? That's the kind of thing. So yes, it can be used. The intelligence aspect of this particular thing is that when I talk about students in general, as a teacher, when I'm teaching a big class, it is sometimes very difficult to keep track of each and every student's progress. Now, what we have done over here is we have developed programs and we have developed application to track the progress of each and every student individually, and reports are generated on the basis of that. The progress of students in general in a subject broken down into chapters and then broken down into topics and subtopics, right? Because generally when you say that you find maths difficult, or anybody who comes to me, sir मुझे probability समझ में नहीं आता, या मुझे differential equation समझ में नहीं आता, तो उसकी प्रॉब्लम कई बार डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन पूरी नहीं है, या इन जनरल बोल देते हैं कई बार बच्चे आके कि सर मेरे को केमिस्ट्री समझ में नहीं आता. ठीक है, ये क्या है, ये बहुत ही वास्ट है. केमिस्ट्री पूरा समझ में नहीं आता ऐसा नहीं होगा, कुछ एस्पेक्ट उसका समझ में आता होगा, कुछ नहीं आता होगा. उसको पकड़ पाना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, और वहां पे फिर हम हेल्प लेते हैं कि हम यार एनालाइज ऐसे करें on basis of, obviously we just have a set of questions to be asked to the child, but those set of questions have to be curated in such a manner that they give the best analysis of the child, and we can actually pinpoint the problem areas. Okay, in differential equation, okay, you know the basics of differential equation, order, degree, and everything. You know how to solve these basic types of equations, but then you don't know how to solve these particular types of equations. So we will focus on developing that particular concept and not worry about these things. And once you start solving those questions of differential equation, you will gain that confidence level. Okay, now I am confident in this particular chapter from the student's point of view, let's say, right? So that is the aspect that can use AI, and we have been using AI for that, right? Because in terms of, let us say, the number of students that we have and the in-depth analysis that I am talking about, that is something wherein the use of AI is very useful, first of all. One more aspect which is very useful is, as I mentioned earlier, the basic concepts, right? For example, a student coming to me in 11th, is he aware of all the concepts of 9th and 10th? Does he remember everything from 9th and 10th? It is not always so, first of all. Many times when a student comes to 11th, for example, I'll take an example from chemistry, right? Because ratio and proportion is a topic which is actually taught in maths but used in physics and chemistry a lot, right? And a person who is not aware of this particular topic, does not know this particular topic, he'll face difficulty in calculations. He'll not be able to understand a lot of concepts over there. So does he remember those concepts, or does he not remember those concepts? So I can ask a few random questions, right? For example, a big class, in general, what I can do is I can ask those questions. But me as an individual, when I'm working with so many students, maybe it is not possible to gauge each and every one's level. So therein comes the use of artificial intelligence once again, right? And applications in general. So we have been focusing on those aspects wherein we gauge the level of students in each topic, in each subtopic beforehand, before we start teaching, so that we can help the student right where is required, precisely, right? If you are weak at, let us say, polynomials, I cannot teach you quadratic equations directly. The basics of polynomials have to be okayed. If you don't even know how to add algebraic expressions, how can I teach you quadratic, right? I cannot. So we gauge those particular things and we cover up those concepts. Now, student may not be weak in throughout maths, right? He has taken maths, right? But then he may be weak in a few very, very specific topics of geometry for that matter. So we gauge those things with the help of AI, and we work on those aspects once again, right? So AI can give an analysis, because obviously we have to work with AI, so we develop those particular kinds of systems over there in the background, which help the students.
So you have been using AI frequently
yes, you can say. Recently, we have been using it very frequently, you can say, right? In multiple aspects for that matter, right? I'll not go into all the details over here, because this is not a discussion about AI, I suppose, right? But then we have been using this.
Just a connecting question, do you face any disadvantages, like any backlogs while using AI while teaching maths?
Disadvantages and backlogs, AI is not fully developed yet, right? We ask certain things to the person, but then we don't always get the best possible reply for that matter, right? We get some kind of an idea. It's the way of asking questions for that matter, right? The analysis part, we have refined it, you can say. And with the help of AI, yes, we have been refining it and we'll keep on refining it. That's something which is there, right? There's enough refinement done and more to come for that matter.
Right. अच्छा, क्लास में बहुत सारे बच्चे रहते हैं पढ़ाने के वक्त, तो ऐसा कोई मतलब गलत फहमी आपको लगा कि हाँ, जब IIT JEE के प्रिपरेशन के लिए वो लोग आए मैथ्स सब्जेक्ट में, कोई ऐसा मिसकंसेप्शन, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है जो बाद में जाके पता चला कि ऐसा कोई मतलब मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है ही नहीं, ये सब एक मिथ है?
कॉन्सेप्ट्स की टर्म्स में तो हर साल बच्चे आते हैं ऐसे, 9th 10th में काफी सारी चीजें पढ़ के आते हैं, और फिर उनके हमें मतलब आफ्टर सो मेनी इयर्स पता है मुझे कि भाई ये चीजें वो ऐसे पढ़ के आए होंगे और ये गलत होगा, तो उनको पहले ही हम बता देते हैं। जैसे ही वो पहली बार चीज आती है क्लास में, तो उनमें से पूछ के वो बता देते हैं कि सर हाँ, इसका आंसर ये होगा, तो हमें बताना पड़ता है कि नहीं, ये नहीं होगा, सिर्फ यही होगा। तो ऐसे बहुत सारी जगह पे होता है, मतलब एक जगह नहीं, बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स में ऐसा होता है जहाँ पे हमें पिन पॉइंट करके बच्चे को ये चीज बतानी होती है कि बेटा ये नहीं, ये है, आज से यही होगा, आज के बाद भी ये होगा, लाइफ टाइम यही होगा, ठीक है? इससे पहले आपने कुछ किया होगा, वो अलग बात है। किसी बच्चे के ज़्यादा नंबर आ रहे हैं तो हमें लगता है यार उसके ज़्यादा क्यों आ रहे हैं। बाकी बच्चे हंस रहे हैं लेकिन उस बच्चे ने कभी अपना कॉन्फिडेंस लूज नहीं किया।